It's another special edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey, and in studio with us today we have special guests from Bishop Flaget School and also Bishop Flaget School Advisory capacity. Speaking of, we all know Andy Tomlinson. He's been a part of our programming for, well, almost since we started. And we also have with us Dr. Derya Ricks with us today. She's the new principal at Bishop Flaget. We want to share details in just a moment, but first, we want to tell you that we're brought to you today by Herlihy Moving and Storage. They've been doing this since 1920, 106 years, and they have been moving stuff all across the world, internationally, but also locally, too. If you've got to move from, say, here to Tennessee, or maybe you're moving here from Tennessee, they can take care of that. They've been doing it for a long time. You want to find out more, just go to their website, or you can click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it takes you right to herlihymoving.com. I'm Dan Ramey, and again, in studio with us from Bishop Flaget School, the new principal. Welcome to the area.
Thank you.
Speaking of Derya Ricks, and lean into that microphone there.
Yes.
How has the first few months now gone for you?
It's been wonderful. We love the town. We love the community. We have 6 kids. And thanks to the Herlihy Moving Company, we had a wonderful moving experience from Kansas. So it's been wonderful. We are very grateful. It's such a charming town, and it made the transition a little easier that we can walk around in downtown, take the kids to the Christmas lights. I think they're adjusting, and when the kids adjust, mommy adjusts a little better. So.
Let me ask you your initial thoughts of seeing the Shine On Chillicothe Christmas display. Did you have to pinch yourself to say, is this real? Am I really in Chillicothe, Ohio?
Yes. I remember I first needed to figure out what Chillicothe meant. So that was interesting for us to figure out what it meant. But it is very surprising that how lovely this downtown is. It's been every month there's a surprise. My biggest surprise was the sand volleyball. I was very surprised at how much sand there was on the roads, and I wondered how they cleaned it off. So it's been a beautiful experience for us. And the school community has been welcoming, and so is the church community. So we feel really blessed to be here.
And I think a lot of people feel blessed to have you here as well. Andy, as a parent of not only kids who are at Chillicothe High School, but now you've got some that are at Bishop Flaget.
Yep.
You believe in what's going on at Flaget, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great experience. My kids really enjoy it. They got a great education, and hopefully more after this.
Yeah, I know they wear uniforms. They have a structure and everything. That's something that you don't always get in the public schools.
Right. It's much easier with a uniform, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about getting things. The girls aren't always complaining on what they're going to be wearing. They know what they're going to wear. My son could care less as long as it's pants and a shirt. So, and it's easier for the parents.
And they can focus on education.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. You're on the advisory committee for Bishop Flaget. How long have you been doing this?
I think we've had 2 meetings. So,
is that right?
Yeah. Very short time. So,
yeah. In your capacity, what do you see that's going on that you'd like to continue, and what you might try and improve on?
Well, for the 2 meetings we've had, we're just getting up to speed on forming a board because, we're kind of coming from the beginning. And so that's what our focus has been for the last 2 meetings. And then as things come up through the school with Monsignor Lane and Dr. Ricks, they will bring problems that they have, and we can try to help process those.
And all parents, you all have children in the school?
Everyone that's on it has a child in the school.
Yeah, okay. I know fundraising has always been a big thing for Bishop Flaget. We have seen it ever since I came to town, and
Sure.
Seen all the things that are done to make sure that the school can run financially. That has to make you feel pretty good knowing that you already have a community here that's working towards that.
Absolutely. That has been one of the most encouraging things about the school. Even even those who do not have any kids in the school, they want the school to succeed and flourish and thrive. So I just feel that support. And we haven't done with this board any fundraising, but I'm sure I will get to know everybody, even just through those efforts as well. So I'm very grateful for all that support.
I know we've talked before we started the conversation here about the continual work for bringing Flaget back to a high school level. And you say that's on pause right now, but it's something that you still are considering.
Yes, absolutely. Catholic education is one of our bishop's priorities. And the closest Catholic high school is an hour away from Chillicothe. So it's always on his mind. But because of the transition of administration, when there's a change, there's always a time of adjustment. He asked us to put it on pause for now, but I'm really hoping to make that happen in the future, especially for my own kids, because I would like all of them to go through a Catholic education from K to 12.
Right. I know the easy answer is it's a God thing, but what drew your interest to this position at Chillicothe?
My background is a little bit unconventional, so to speak, because I have a PhD, but it is not in education. However, when we had our first child, Joseph, who is a freshman at Chillicothe High School here, I started to notice the gaps in his education in the public school system. And as you know, it differs from town to town. And then we decided that the Catholic school wasn't the best option where we lived. We decided to homeschool. And when I started to homeschool, that led me to teaching at different levels. I think I taught, except for younger grades from third grade and on, I taught at every level. And I still am adjunct faculty and I teach postgraduate courses as well. But what I realize is that simply teaching academics isn't enough, and that is the big part of the Catholic education, that we need to educate the whole child. Anyone who has a teenager or a fourth grader would tell you that there's an epidemic of unhappiness among our kids. So the purpose of the Catholic education is that we not only attend their academic skills. As you know, Catholic schools are known, so is Bishop Flaget, for their academic strength. But we want to also attend their spiritual and mental wellness as well. So we want to educate the whole child and give them a purpose and maybe curb some of this epidemic of unhappiness, and then bring them closer to Christ and make them part of a bigger picture, that where they can go whatever they want to do in life, they can be happy and successful and tackle it, not only academically. We want to focus on literacy and numeracy, of course, but also we want them to be happy, well-adjusted individuals who are in love with the Lord. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't have done it anywhere else, because I myself am a convert. I grew up in Turkey, a Muslim. So because the Lord has changed my life so significantly, this is the only place I can be a principal, nowhere else. And when I started working for Catholic schools, then I realized that I was complaining a lot. So I'm like, okay, maybe you need to stop complaining. What can you do to make things better? And one of the best ways to do this is to become an administrator and take on the paperwork that we always complain. But the reason I ended up in this diocese is that I heard Bishop Fernandez give a keynote talk at a Catholic education conference a few years ago. And I thought to myself, I would love to be a teacher or an administrator in his diocese, because this bishop has a wonderful vision. And then a few years later, when I got the call from the superintendent of the Catholic schools, it's like, oh, this is how the Lord, moves us as little pawns and brings us where we need to be. So here I am in Chillicothe, Ohio.
It's incredible. What a wonderful story that you do have. I wanted to ask you about your background, but coming from Turkey, for folks who take it for granted the freedoms you have here in America, much different than in Turkey, aren't they?
Absolutely, and it cannot be compared. It is interesting because I also come from a very poor background, but in that poverty, we were raised in gratitude as well. But when people ask why we have chosen, my husband is from the U.S., so I'm from Turkey. We wouldn't pick anywhere else to raise our children, especially in Muslim countries. Even though Turkey is different, Turkey is a lot more modern compared to other Muslim countries, there are still limitations, especially for girls. And the education they will receive here, the opportunities they receive here, this is one of the things I want to impress upon on my kids. You have a wonderful life here, and I want you to be grateful for this country. It's not perfect, no place is, but this is an amazing place to live. Instead of becoming part of the problem, what can you do to help and improve and make it better? But I am so happy to raise my children here, and I wouldn't want to raise them anywhere else. And I traveled the world, and this is the place I want. And I don't want to live in a big city. So this is the perfect town for me. We can go to Columbus, get stuck in traffic, and just run back to Chillicothe.
Yeah, we're a big little town. We like hearing that. And I think it's, and as a parent, Andy, I think it's important to have such a well-rounded individual from outside of America coming in to help these kids understand what life is like out there.
Yeah.
And how they might be able to change life for others out when they become adults.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's incredible to have that value there that you can present to these kids.
Thank you. And I am very grateful for Mr. Tomlinson and Mrs. Tomlinson as well, because when I came into the community, when you come from outside, it's always hard to know to people and, take the right step. And they have been extremely helpful. You know him much better than I do. But when the first time we met, he's like, you could have handled this better. I'm like, yes, you're right. I could have. And this is why I love about the town that, look, we want this school to be successful, and we are going to help you to do it, even when it is uncomfortable. So I myself feel very blessed to have parents like him. So.
Yeah, it's good to have. And another thing we want you to know about Dr. Ricks is that she's an author. And you've probably written more books than I've read. And having said that, you have another background that you can present to these young kids that may one day want to become authors as opposed to just reading books.
That is one of the things. It's almost like a dying art now, even in our schools with AI and computers, how to form stories and how to even spell sometimes. But that is the best way to teach, especially this younger generation, with stories that inspire and excite them. This is one of the reasons Jesus always used parables and tried to bring people into the story. And I'm really looking forward to passing that on to our students. Definitely reading and writing are going to be some of the priorities as we go forward. And I also love writing fiction. I mostly write nonfiction and what the young people would call boring things, but I also have 2 fiction books. So I'm really hoping to pass that excitement and enthusiasm onto them.
Well, we like talking with authors. So when you get that next one written, let us know. We can talk about the book.
Yes, in my free time, yes, I will.
Free time as a parent of 6 and a bunch of other kids at the school. Yes. You're a busy lady.
Yes.
No question there. Is there anything that we have missed you wanted to make sure people knew about?
December 11th is the open house from 5:30 to 7. And you can elaborate on what you're going to be doing there.
Absolutely. I want to thank Mrs. Corcoran for her years of service. I feel like I have, she gave me a gift of this wonderful school that I can build on. And one of the things that we have done this year is maybe bring a little more hands-on activities into into education. So we have focused on field trips and more projects. And this is something that we would like to showcase to our parents, because, as you know, there have been some confusion with the transition, and we would like to invite all the parents who have still questions about the school and come and see what our students have done. Come and meet our teachers. I will be there giving tours and explaining. So if we welcome anybody who have any questions, and we would love you to come and become part of our family.
Fantastic. Again, that's December 11th.
Yep.
So we're talking a week from, next Thursday, right? Okay. And again, the times?
5:30 to 7.
5:30 to 7. Fantastic. Again, you can find Bishop Flaget School on Facebook and, of course, online. You can learn more about them in that fashion, but go to the open house and get a hands-on experience. Yeah. Meet Dr. Ricks. I tell you, I've been impressed by just what we've known each other for all of about 35 minutes. So it's been a pleasure meeting her, and I hope that you've seen this as a pleasurable experience as well, watching here today on another special edition of Litter Media Live. And our thanks to our sponsor for this program. We're thankful for Andy Tomlinson and Tomlinson Insurance Agency, but Joe Herlihy and Herlihy Moving and Storage helping us out as well. Thanks for watching this edition of Litter Media Live.